Hey, shalom, shalom. Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Hawa Shai, Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Hawa Shai, Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Hawa Shai, Bashim Rakakodash. A double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, salutation to Yakim. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 15. It says, the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. All right. And this is the determination that the Lord has set over this world that we live in. Okay. And before his coming, before we see the second coming of his son Yahushua, um, we are going to see all this tribulation, which we are seeing now, you know. And we're at the fine point where we are, you know, measuring the time diligently, you know, because these are the signs that's leading up to the end of this age. All right, so Salakia, verse 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Okay, and that's the question, okay, because the Lord is going to deliver us, all right? The Lord is going to deliver us, okay? And Jeremiah 30 and 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Even it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, all right? We have yet to see that on a full scale, but that it's imminent. All right, it's imminent. It says, but he, meaning it basically it's around the corner. It says, but he shall be saved out of it. All right, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay, for it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst the bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. But they shall serve the Lord their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, all right, or troubled, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. Okay, and that's a promise. The scriptures talk about the Lord is mighty to save, all right. Verse 11, and this is why they hate it. This is why the other nations hate it, all right. Jeremiah 30 and 11, for I am with thee. All right, they're mad that the Lord is with us, said Yahweh, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished, all right. And so the Lord is purging us and correcting us, but in the face of the heathen. But though he make an end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, he's not, well, slack it, I'll read it again. It says, for I am with thee, said the Lord Yahweh, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee. All right? Yet will I not make a full end of thee. All right? And we know 2/3 of our people are going to perish right along with the world that they have, loved so much, which is the so-called white man's world that he created, that we see on a daily basis, his standard of living, you know, this whole, Democrat, Republican, and democracy, and so on and so forth, this westernized culture, this westernized way. All right, so Salakia, let's go back. 2nd Ezra 16. All right, just wanted to make this real quick. Based off that video in the first part of this lesson, because it's going to come unawares, and that's going to be the dreadful day of the Lord. And somehow the Spirit has got me more focused on that. Salakia. The Spirit is just keying in on that. That dreadful day of the Lord. Which, hey, that the Lord is going to wake us up. He woke us up. And the warning has gone out. And those who believe are starting to believe, and they ride the wave of faith, and That wave is never ending. All right, we're going to enter into something more greater. Scriptures talk about. I just read it earlier. Uh, I think it's Isaiah 48, which I'll get. But Salaki, it says the fire. Uh, verse 17. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The question is answered. Of course, there's other precepts to back it up. But for the sake of time, I will continue. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? All right, and there's going to be, uh, you know, fanners, so to speak, that fan Babylon, and there's going to be destruction, even leading up to that great and dreadful day. There's going to be more and more destruction. So there's going to be heightened levels. The scriptures talk about this place going out as the woman in travail with child. So uh, when that time comes where the child is due, there's a progression of birth pains that the woman has to deal with, and they get worse and worse until that child comes. And that's how this age is going to end until things are going to get worse and worse, progressively worse until the Lord Yahweh Shai shows up and saves his people. All right. So let's continue to behold famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And the word amendment means to change. All right. So the scourges are sent for changes, and the change is us. Hey, Second Esdras 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world. So the Lord is changing it. Second Esdras, no, Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verses 8. Through well, let's get it. Slack it. Let's get it. It's a lot easier if I get it. Ecclesiastes 10 and 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, so we're in that process. Okay, we're in that process. The wicked have been revealed, of course, to Second Thessalonians. They come in the power of Satan. We see that. We see that their intentions is to continually bring evil, and they feed off the negative satanic vibration, and that's what they're about. Okay, and that's why the world is such in shambles. It's turned upside down. All right, let's go back. Okay, so we understand that this is the process, you know, and for the Spirit of the Lord being on the men of the Lord, for them receiving the Spirit. In other words, we wouldn't have got this, So we give double honors to those who endure, which is our apostles and elders, and of course you brethren, because we all, at the end of the day, we get the same penny, and that's what it's about. It's about waking our people up to salvation and knowing that the arms of the Lord are, open for those of such that believe and fear the Lord. You know, this is not about um, grandeur, because I keep getting comments from a video I made a while back about the prophets, about our doctrine, about us believing in reincarnation and believing that there's prophets among us. People still don't believe that there's prophets among us. And the truth of the matter is, there is, Lord willing, I might make a lesson on it, something simple, because the more precepts you read, the more understanding we get. And that's what the scriptures say, and the mystery is revealed unto those, unto his saints. All right. The mysteries are revealed to the saints. Okay. And there's plenty of pieces to this puzzle that give us the understanding of reincarnation and you know, the prophets being in our time, because there's nothing new under the sun, you know. But hey, those who get it, that's why I said, blessed is the man that read it. And that word read it means to see or to perceive, all right, to have the spiritual understanding and eyesight. And so people don't look at these scripture as peculiar, they just take it as face value, you know, and they see it from the lens of the world, and they can really our people don't believe, man, to make it short and simple. But Salaki, it says of your famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent for as scourges for amendment. So this is the process. And the scriptures talk about through great tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom of heaven. So these things have to take place. All right. Second Ezra 4:26, one of my favorite scriptures. It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. All right, and just like depicted in that video uploaded before this in part one of this lesson, man, it shows you that people are did with all the stuff that's going on in the world, they're not mindful. So when that day comes, that day of the Lord, it's going to be dreadful, and that's why the scriptures say it's going to be a dark day, where that feeling of joy and eureka. I mean, that utopian type of feel that's been pushed and propagandized to these people. Speaking on the American dream, the Western philosophy of the standard of living, people don't, people are not going to see that coming, man. And we full well know uh, now, it's more evident now that, and it's more eye popping when the scriptures say, that day shall come as a thief. All right. And we know what we're supposed to be doing, and we know that that day is going to come as a thief. So when it comes, you know, we're not going to be surprised, But let me finish out. It says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, and this is the condition. This is what's taking place now." It says that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing uprisings all over the world, everywhere. And for Jake, you got to have the proof, right? And if the scriptures talk about measure the other time diligently, if they're looking towards the news, these things are hard not to see, all right? These things are up in your face, you know. But hey, our people occupy that time with other things, and the scriptures say be occupied in prophecy, okay? So where's your mind in these days? Where's your hope, all right? For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. All right, and yeah, you know, and it goes deeper into it. But let me see. Let me go ahead and get these other scriptures really quick. Slacking. Uh, let's see. I'm sure it was one more precept. It's talking about the fear of the Lord. I'm not sure if it's 85, but let's check really quick and bear with me, Baba Kashad. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Yep. Psalms 85 and 9. And we always say, when we were taught by our apostles, man, this is a faith-based thing, And so if this be hid, if this word be hid, it be hid to those that are lost. I can't do nothing about it. This is the way we believe. The Spirit opened our minds to this way of believing as far as, reincarnation and other things in the gospel that we believe. We believe it based on faith. It's like in Psalms 85 and 9. Some people don't even believe our people are going to be saved. And that's the truth. And some people think that we don't need nothing. We don't have nothing to be saved from. That's the truth. These people out here believe in that way. And that's their truth, based on their perception. But they don't know the mind of the Lord, nor do they know, neither do they know the times that we live in. Psalms 85 and 9. Surely his salvation is nigh to them that fear, is nigh them that fear him, that glory may dwell in our land. All right, because ultimately, uh, the salvation is going to come, and what was promised was that we're going to inherit the earth with an eternal kingdom, with our King ruling over us. All right, House of David also, and our Lord Yahweh Shai reigning with Yahweh Shai 1,000 years for an eternity, forevermore. All right, a kingdom without end. That's was what was promised. Okay, it says mercy and truth are met together, and that's what we see. That's why we have this truth. The Lord has called us back. He's redeemed us. All right, so mercy and truth are met together. Okay, righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Okay, and so that's what we see in consuming the foundation of the world. There's a dynamic, definitely a dynamic going on right now as we speak. You know, the Lord bringing down our enemies, consuming them also by the way, consuming them by the way of His truth, the mouth of His word. All right, so we don't have to lift up anything. We don't have to lift up a finger, but we do lift up our Bibles and set this standard. All right, across the four corners of the earth. It says, truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Okay, we're seeing that also. Okay, for it shall come, because it's going to come in its fullness when the Lord is established, when He establishes His kingdom. And of course, there's a lot of bloodshed. There's a lot of things that's going to be done according to the scriptures. Okay, because a lot of people want to take what we say out of context, but we say what the scriptures say. Period. And whether we want them to take it out of context or whether we, there's no need to. We believe in what we believe, so there's no need to, try to save face or whatever the case may be. All right, they're still going to take our words out of context and they're going to see if you believe this thing fully. You know, they're going to shoot at your foundation. But verse 12, yea, the Lord shall give that which is good, and our land, all right, shall yield her increase. Righteousness shall go before Him, and shall set us in the way of His steps. All right, because ultimately we're going to be given a kingdom, and moreover, we're going to be given uh, His perfect ways, according to Hebrews. I think it's maybe 10 and 8 or 10 and 10, or Hebrews 8 and 8. You know, the Lord making us a perfect heart, according to Jeremiah 31 and 35. You know, and Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Um, you know, that day is coming. That great and dreadful day. You know, so with that.